Ugh. Hi everyone, this is Josh, and today we're going to talk about WandaVision. As a quick warning, this will be a... What the hell?
I guess we're stuck in black and white. I'm just gonna move the aspect ratio back because I like 6:9. No, not 6:9, 16:9. As a quick warning, this is gonna be a spoiler review, so I'd advise watching WandaVision now and coming back later if you don't want to know what happens. There's your warning. 3, 2, 1. This series was created by Jac Shaeffer and directed by Shakman. It's set right after the events of Avengers Endgame. Wanda and Vision live a picturesque life in the town of Westview, New Jersey, trying to keep their abilities a secret. As they enter new decades of television and notice strange things, the couple suspects something might be wrong about their reality. So not only is WandaVision a live-action television show within a television show, which I think is a first for Marvel, it's also a psychological mystery, romance, drama about grief and depression. One of the biggest criticisms I've always had of Marvel is that I feel like they tend to do the same thing over and over again. For most of the show, it's not this action-packed summer blockbuster like we're used to seeing. It's more like Marvel meets David Lynch, or a really tame version of Too Many Cooks, especially through the first 3 episodes. It very cleverly mimics different sitcoms from the past as the story progresses, like The Dick Van Dyke Show, Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, The Brady Bunch, the list goes on. And while there's not a ton of real conflict going on in the first 3 episodes, the mysterious things that happen every now and again in this surreal world creates this really creepy and unsettling atmosphere. I found myself invested and interested in how the show was going to reveal what exactly is going on in this twisted fantasy land that may or may not be made up by Wanda. And then in episode 4, the perspective of the show shifts to Monica Rambeau in SWORD, a counterterrorism organization who's discovered that Wanda has taken the town of Westview hostage and brainwashed the people living there so that they can be a part of her made-up reality, where Vision is alive and she has a family with him. By doing that so early, the show sucks a lot of the excitement out of the mystery that had me so intrigued at the beginning. Like, I felt like it wouldn't have hurt if the show had just kept going with that a little bit further. From episode 5 on, WandaVision combines the sitcom stuff with what's happening outside of Westview, where SWORD is trying to figure out how to stop Wanda. They're also up to other nefarious things that aren't very interesting. Every time there's a scene with SWORD, I was kind of bored. #bars. A lot of that has to do with the fact that there's really nothing that creative going on in any of the scenes with them. The reason why the sitcom stuff works so well is because that's when the show is truly flexing its creativity and tapping into the heart of the story. Its main purpose is to show what's going on in Wanda's head psychologically. If you watched Infinity War and Age of Ultron, you know that Wanda has lost a lot of her loved ones, including Quicksilver and Vision. It was particularly bad how Vision died. Wanda has to kill him so that she can destroy the Mind Stone, making it so that Thanos can't get it, but Thanos uses the Time Stone to bring Vision back and then kills Vision again and gets the Mind Stone anyway, so pretty brutal. Anyway, American sitcoms, especially older ones, have always had this facade of everything being hunky-dory and sort of artificially happy. It makes complete sense that Wanda would want to live in this sitcom world where she hasn't lost her loved ones, even if everything seems fake. A world in which the traumas that interrupted her life are passed off and interpreted as these quirky commercials trying to sell you something you don't want. With each decade of sitcoms this show covers, it does such a great job of capturing the aesthetics and tropes of the times while putting its own twist on things. Loved how the aspect ratio would often change throughout these episodes to reflect the viewing format of the time. Also loved the different intros they did for the first few episodes, especially episode 5, which pays homage to Full House. You see pictures of Vision from when he was a kid, which is kind of funny because he wasn't a kid, he's just a robot. But more importantly, you're learning a lot about the main character with these sitcom sequences and her struggle with moving on after a lot of painful losses in her life. Unfortunately, by episode 8, the show has completely gotten away from the fantasy world elements and goes back to traditional Marvel aesthetics. There's even a big cartoony fight scene at the end, typical of most Marvel films, which felt so out of place when you consider how character-driven the show is up until that point. The scene is also not helped by the fact that the CGI is underwhelming, since this is a TV budget we're dealing with and not a Marvel movie blockbuster budget. And with this big fight and SWORD's involvement, it also raises the question that what the hell are the other Avengers doing while this big fight and this big investigation is happening in this town that Wanda has taken control of for several days now? Part of what the Avengers do is to keep the peace on Earth and stop powerful beings like Wanda from hurting people. And I don't know how, like, Wanda's activities go undetected all this time. Either all of the Avengers are just conveniently unaware of what's happening, or they're busy. What's even more disappointing is how the show bungles the ramifications of what Wanda has just done to all of these people. To quickly recap, Wanda controls and blocks off Westview with an energy field she's created around the town. Anyone inside the energy field is brainwashed by Wanda's magic, and when Vision briefly removes Wanda's mind control from some civilians, they talk about the severe mental and emotional distress it's causing. In episode 6, it's established that this new version of Vision and the children that Wanda have created will die without the energy field. After defeating Agnes, Wanda can't deal with the guilt and decides to remove the energy field so that the people of Westview can go back to their normal lives. At the end, Monica Rambeau comes up to her and says, "The people of Westview will never know what you sacrificed for them." The problem with that statement is that Wanda has been mentally torturing these people for days and sacrificed something that doesn't even exist. These people have no reason to be grateful for Wanda. Maybe Marvel will have Wanda deal with the consequences of her actions in later films or TV shows, but this line of dialogue feels like an attempt to try to convince you that Wanda's a hero and not someone who just did something kind of evil. I just don't understand why moral ambiguity is such a bad thing. It's okay to have a character who can do good and bad. That being said, I think the show is pretty entertaining even if it does peter out towards the end. I want to quickly point out that I really enjoyed Kathryn Hahn and Paul Bettany, who were both great when it came to their performances, more specifically the comedic aspects of their performances. I thought they were both really entertaining throughout the show. Even if it was for a brief time, I do give Marvel a lot of credit for doing things a little more differently than usual. I personally would have preferred the show explain everything from inside the TV show patiently and not through sword, but I understand that Marvel needs to explain everything in a digestible and simplified way so they can satisfy their wide-ranging audience, you know? I'm going to give WandaVision a 3 out of 5. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Hit the like button if you like this video and leave a comment on what you thought about WandaVision in the comment section below. Feel free to leave a recommendation on a show or subject that I should talk about next while you're down there. And be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you can know when I drop the next video. Thanks again, guys, and I will see you later. Take it easy. Bye.